What's up everyone, it's Brad with the Hodl fandom. Today let's dive into TVL and the role it'll play in the exponential growth of the project. For those that don't know, TVL stands for Total Value Locked, and let's get into the math and everything related to how this affects Ecomi and the OMI token. Many of you guys know TVL by a different name, staking.
Staking. So if you're staking
additional staking tiers,
that is still one of the last things that I need to work out with the OMI utility program.
These levels of staking OMI now can help you build that master collector because you're getting bonus points up your level. So, the staking tiers are similar to those MCP rewards.
All right, so staking is a key part of the Ecomi ecosystem, and I'll show when and how these will all lead to the gains that we are all hoping for. Let's get into it. In order to understand all of this, we've got to get into the numbers, and there's going to be a bit of math here. So I'll go over it as quickly as I can, but it's important because I want you to understand my logic and my reasoning. First, let's break down these staking tiers. There are 3 that we know of and 2 that I'm pretty sure we don't have the full details just yet. I'm going to use a few guesses here as placeholders, $25,000 and $50,000 worth of OMI, in addition to the $1,000, $5,000, and $10,000 tiers that we already have. These OMI tiers and requirements are based on what I input as the OMI price, and I have the current price as of today. Right now it's just past midnight on Sunday, and the markets are falling pretty hard, so we're going to go with this price for this example going forward. You can see that the tier requirements change as the price changes, and I've designed this whole spreadsheet to change to be able to analyze different scenarios automatically. Now let's pull in the wallet holders. On Etherscan we have 8,744 OMI wallet holders, and this was nice and easy to get. You can just download it off Etherscan. For GoChain, I manually imported the first 5,000 or so wallets, but then got this lovely error message. So when laying out all the tiers, this lowest tier had to be a plug for the GoChain OMI side. Since we know the total Go wallets are 188,000, the remainder that was unmapped is plugged into this last tier. So when I saw the wallet distribution, my first thought was most people haven't moved over their old Go OMI to the new ERC20 OMI. Now I believe the bridge is live, and I'm pretty sure Reese tweeted that out. If you need a Go token to move over your old tokens, just leave your Go address in the comments below and I will send you one. So back to the data here. The reason the wallet information is needed, that's to get the maximum potential amount that can be staked at each tier. But first, just a quick reasonability test. Let's see if everything makes sense so far. Decentraland has 800,000 accounts and 224,000 wallets holding mana. Sandbox has 500,000 accounts and 136 wallets holding sand. And Veve has 596 accounts with 196,000 wallets holding OMI. Each platform has an existing product here in a similar genre and this 3-to-1 account to wallet ratio, which is kind of weird, but overall the data does make sense and it is reasonable, so let's move on. Just imagine that when the marketing and all the other catalysts hit. More on that later, but let's get back to the tiers. The green items are the 5 tiers. These change as we change the price as shown earlier, and these are the OMI requirements for each. At the lowest tier at the current price, you need 357,000 OMI, and there are 52,000 total wallets that hold at least this amount, but not enough for the next tier. So the maximum that they should stake is the amount it takes to meet the requirements. Nothing more than that, because there's no benefit. We did that for all the tiers here, and the ones above tier 5, it's just capped at the tier 5 amount, since there's no added benefit for staking more. When we add it all up, we get 53.5 billion tokens, which represents 20% of the circulating supply. Now, this is based on a snapshot as of today, and total wallets will grow as the platform grows, but as of right now, that is sitting at 53.5 billion. The key word here is that's the maximum. You see, staking with Veve and Ecomi is unique compared to other crypto projects. Typically in crypto, you stake to earn a certain monetary reward, like a percentage of your investment. Now, to avoid being possibly classified as a security, Ecomi have made their staking rewards so they wouldn't have an initial real-world value, and that's in the form of an in-game reward. Exchanges might provide liquidity staking to provide that monetary return on staked OMI like BitMax did a while back. that might be offered by existing or future exchanges, but there's no guarantee. So I'm going by what's planned and announced by the Ecomi team. So with that all said, all else being equal, I expect less conversion for stakers with Ecomi. It makes sense for other cryptos to earn passive income, but for Ecomi, it depends on if you participate in Veve, if you participate in the metaverse, in their gaming, and their overall ecosystem, because your benefits are tied to that ecosystem. So is 80% conversion? Is it 20% conversion? I have no idea here. Let's look at 60% conversion. That sounds kind of reasonable to me, and that would lock up 32 billion or 12% of the circulating supply. If we compare that to the TVL of other cryptos, 12% is lower than most. Theta, EOS, and Algorand, they would be just the few that would be lower in their TVL. Now, I want to look at Elrond for a second. It's not far off at 16% TVL, and I want to look at them specifically because it's fresh in my mind when they launched their Mired DEX, where they started their staking program not too long ago. Now this Mired DEX, it launched in mid-November last year and saw immediate gains. Unfortunately, when Bitcoin does bearish things, Elrond and everything else gets pulled down with it. But we can see the short-term big gains with staking and locking up those tokens. Like when the Mired DEX launched, we saw hype around that launch, and I would expect the same thing for OMI. But we're not looking for short-term gains. I said earlier we can see exponential growth in the project, and to explain that, let's look at the unique nature of this project, of Ecomi. Yes, the conversion rate will not be as high compared to typical crypto projects with regards to staking. What those crypto projects don't have is that they're not tied to a product that has maybe the most mass appeal of any crypto project out there. So while the conversion numbers of holders might be on the lower end, the pool of potential stakers is a massive and unique advantage. This pool comes from the massive fan bases of the licenses that are partnered with Ecomi. The general public, they don't know what, say, Elrond is. They can't differentiate between a layer 1 or layer 2, but they know X-Men, they know Batman, and they know Spider-Man. But even that is not what I'm talking about with regards to exponential growth. Now, I've used this word already a couple of times here today. Ecosystem. Staking is just one piece in the Ecomi ecosystem, and what's unique about this is each piece feeds the other parts, truly making it greater than the sum of their parts. Staking will increase once we get more utility for NFTs. Utility increases retention and overall value in the NFTs. This builds demand for the collectibles, which also incentivizes staking. Once we get the general public ease of access to the token with more exchanges, that'll increase staking, demand for the token, and demand for the collectibles. This will also help with OB to NFT, which will allow ease of access for the crypto whales and a further increased demand to our NFTs. Marketing will help build a Veve user base and pretty much everything else, and all these will help with the burns. Now there are other aspects, but as you can see here, this is what they're building. An ecosystem that feeds off each other. The key thing here is when, the famous when. If we chart this out, kind of like a Gantt chart, I think this will help visualize the when. I'm sure we'll see some things this year, maybe some things next year, and without a doubt, some gains on the token with each release of each part of the ecosystem. But when I'm talking about exponential growth, it's when all of these are active, when the full ecosystem is active, when they're all feeding on each other. That's when we get a system that's fueled by the most recognizable brands on the planet and an ecosystem designed to be greater than the sum of their parts. I know I went from TVL to something much bigger, but it's really hard not to in my mind, because when you look at the big picture, when you zoom out into the long term, they are all tied together. So when you're in doubt, let's remember what they're building here. This isn't a one and done project. This isn't a one-trick pony. And because of that, our gains, our biggest gains, are yet to come. Thanks so much for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and following. I'll see you in the next video.